For tonight's practice, we are going to be finding a little bit of insight and exploring the wood element. So I just invite you to close your eyes down here while you're in Shavasana and just laying on your back very gently, restfully, and just almost imagining the back of the body is laying in the forest here and now, tapping into the five senses. What are you feeling beneath the palms of your hands? What is the smell? What sounds can you hear in the background? And just really painting this picture of this beautiful forest that you feel comfortable in. And just knowing that you're safe here. It's almost like your dream forest. What would that feel like here? Hearing the creaks of the trees around you. Maybe even beginning to picture or imagine as if there are roots from the palms of your hands moving down into the earth to connect with the rivers and streams of the root system of these trees that surround you. So as we lay here in Shavasana, painting that picture, visualizing our human body, feeling free, feeling light on the forest ground beneath, the forest that you feel safe in, while also feeling almost comfortable, remembering maybe a time in your life where you felt at peace within the forest. As you connect with the human body here, feeling that back body pressing in to the earth beneath, tapping into what you're feeling beneath your back, just coming back to those five senses again. Feeling the palms of the hands on the earth, imagining that root system beneath them that is connecting with the roots of the trees that surround you. And taking a few more moments just to imagine the background sound that offers you tranquility as you take notice of how you feel engulfed in this wood element. Naturally, how do you feel in the wood element? What has already been remembered within your own self, within your inner landscape of those moments surrounded by the trees, the wood element within your life? The wood element connecting with the inner spring invites us into a space of balancing. So as we are laying on our back here, I invite you just to begin to become a little bit more aware of the human body, maybe where the backs of the heels are pressing into the mat. Feeling the weight of all 10 fingertips gently pressed upon the earth beneath. And maybe seeing where you can maybe balance out your weight distribution in the hands up to the collarbones, maybe rolling the shoulders down and back, guiding the chin towards the chest a little bit. And then checking in with the hips. Maybe just slightly shimmying the hips, wiggling them out a little bit. Just to find that weight distribution once again. And just allow yourself to surrender a little bit deeper into this present moment. And the importance of this balancing symbolism, maybe even connecting to the importance of balance, because when our human body maybe move to the side, or maybe if we're just feeling comfortable in our path lately, or maybe once again you're feeling that other side of the inner spring of the feeling of being stuck, or maybe having some resentment around only being on one path. Because when we get caught into kind of moving at one pace, we can forget the beauty that can be found in balancing, because then balancing opens us to the other option. Balancing the scales as the full moon in Libra is upon us. Just tipping those perspectives, those metaphorical scales in our life, to just be able to see through the peripheral vision a little bit more of maybe where there's other opportunities, where we can find more abundance, letting go of the tunnel vision. So as we are finding a bit of clarity within our vision here and now, I invite you to just keep your eyes closed, but guide your awareness towards the third eye center, maybe the crown, or maybe you're just feeling guided to connect somewhere else on your body here and now. Wherever you feel the most connected to opening to new opportunities, opening to a new vision. Slowly going to guide our hands over our head here to extend behind our back. If you don't have enough space, elbows can be bent, maybe grabbing a hold of the opposite elbows. Or if you have room, you can extend the arms long, legs are extended long. And then we're going to press into the hips. And on the exhale, we're just going to guide our arms over to the right side of our mat with the legs to follow. So we're creating this crescent moon shape here, banana shape in our body, opening the left side, and just checking in once again with that weight distribution. Can you guide a little bit more weight to the left hip? Can you open a little bit more through the armpits? Can you check in with the head to make sure, even though we have this curvature in our spine, our head is still in alignment with the spine here. We'll take 3 more breaths. Next, inhale, guides the torso back to center with the legs to follow. Maybe you want to bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Maybe you want to guide the knees towards the chest, just giving yourself a little hug here. Well, my kitty is hugging me too. Just letting that go for a moment, and then fully stretching out, extending the legs, extending the arms above the head onto the earth. We're going to take a breath in and just settle into this neutral space once again on the exhale. And then on the inhale, guiding our torso, arms over left side of the mat with the legs to follow. Checking in once again with the hips, the head, the elbows. Maybe you feel like you want to explore a little bit more by just crossing the right ankle over the left. This will just open that right side body a little bit more here. And every breath, allow yourself to open the lungs, open the belly, expand the belly. And on the exhale, just settle in. 3 more breaths. Next, inhale, torso comes to center, legs to follow. Soles of feet can come onto the mat. Maybe just drop the knees from side to side, or you guide the knees into the chest. Maybe you want to rock from side to side. We'll just kind of find a little bit of fluidity here if your knees aren't already into the chest. Guiding the knees into the chest, giving them a little hug with the arms. Maybe you want to cross the ankles. We're just going to begin to rock up and down the spine, maybe lifting the head a little bit, lifting the hips up, kind of creating this rock and roll to guide us into a seated position whenever you get there. And slowly coming up into a seat. However that feels okay for you. Maybe your legs are cross-legged. Maybe you're sitting on the knees. Once we're here, we're going to check in again with the spine, finding that balance, rolling the shoulders down and back. Chin a little bit to chest. And checking in with the hips once again. Can we find a little bit more balance, a little bit neutrality in the body? And as we inhale, we'll lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes to left thigh, left arm behind the back, just creating a slight seated twist. The twist is coming from the upper torso here. And if that feels okay, you can look over that left shoulder. Check in once again. Where are you holding too much weight? Where are you pressing into too much? Can you just back off a little bit? And as we move through this practice, every breath we should be able to let go of something, checking in somewhere else, or we're holding a bit of tension. Even if we only back off just the littlest bit. Next, inhale, arms reach up to the sky, back to center. Exhale, right hand or left hand, right thigh, right hand comes behind us. As we inhale, we lift the chest up to the sky, and exhale, gently guiding the upper torso over to that right side. Where can you back off in every exhale? And just think of every little piece that we are letting go of. Any little piece of tensity is an area or emotion, energy and motion of anger we may be harboring, resentment, frustration, anything that feels tense in the body that we've been holding towards one of our past experiences, of course. Just physically feeling that letting go with every exhale. On the inhale, arms reach up to the sky, coming back to neutral. On the exhale, just letting the arms go. We're going to come into a child's pose here. So hands will come to the top of the mat. Knees will come above mat with distance apart. Maybe the big toes touch. We'll take a deep breath in here. And on the exhale, we'll just gently round the spine a little bit, guiding the hips down towards the heels. And then extending the arms further towards the top of the mat, allowing the head to hang heavy. Maybe you want to let go of the forearms. Maybe you'd like a deeper stretch in the arms, and the forearms and hands can come off of the mat, guiding the palms of the hands together in a prayer position over top of the head. So the palms and forearms are off of the mat now, with the elbows still pressing into the mat here. And just opening our upper body a little bit more. And once again, where can you distribute the weight? And just grounding into this space for 3 more breaths. If the palms are overhead, forearms off the mat, guiding the palms back down to the mat here, pressing into the palms of the hands as we inhale. We'll guide the hips forward, chest forward, coming a bit more neutral with the spine here. Wrists are under shoulders, shoulder width apart, almost like a tabletop position with the knees still wide. As we inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky, and exhale, right arm comes underneath the left to thread the needle as we drop that right elbow or shoulder, shoulder and elbow down onto the mat. And sometimes balance is also playing with the opposites. So here, we're pressing into that right shoulder. And then maybe we want to lift that left hand off of the mat to come to our back body, the lower back here. Twisting open a little bit more. Twists are really great for detoxification. Another opportunity to look inwards at the spring element and where we need to detoxify. If the left hand is on the back, just guiding it back to the top of the mat, pressing into the left palm. Inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes back down. We're going to move right into the other side. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, left arm threads the needle under the right arm. Left shoulder onto the mat. Left palm is facing upwards. Right hand can come to the top of the mat, or you can guide the right hand to that lower back once again, opening up for a gentle twist. So we're feeling more weight now in the left side of the body as we open the right shoulder. And that right hand, come back down onto the mat. As we inhale, left arm reaches up. And exhale, back down to tabletop position. We're going to come back into a seated position here. And just allow our legs to fully stretch out in front of us in a V-shaped position. You may want to have a little bit of support under the hips here. Maybe you have a small pillow or you can roll up your mat, and to become a little bit seated onto the hips. Just becoming as open as possible without it feeling too uncomfortable. And as we inhale, we're going to take a straight, long spine and guide our hands onto the hips. And on the exhale, we're just gently going to hinge at the hips, guiding our head closer to the floor. And then arms come out in front of us to support. Don't worry about getting too far down here. You want to connect a little bit more with the feet. So the toes are flexed up to the sky. Knees are slightly internally rotated. So you're feeling a bit more of a stretch through the groin there. If it's too much hinging, you can back off. It's okay if your head is lifted. And with every breath, maybe you can surrender a little bit more by inching your fingers forward a little by little. Head can hang heavy. So detoxification, also connecting to the liver meridian. So these poses we're taking tonight is going to help nourish that yin meridian in our body of the liver and allow us to explore a little bit more flexibility. When we have a healthy liver, it means we have more flexible joints. We feel a lot more fluid within our bodies. And we also allow ourselves to feel a bit more known with our bodies because we can create different shapes through a healthy liver chi being expressed through physical flexibility. We have more confidence to kind of just explore where we can meet ourselves and how we can meet ourselves as well. Next inhale, we'll gently guide the palms back towards us, little by little, allowing the torso to come upright once again here. Hands will come to outside of thighs, and then just gently guide our legs in towards the chest, knees bent, and maybe we want to give a little hug to the legs here. Maybe you just want to rock the legs side to side. Awesome. From here, we're going to come back into a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, shoulder width apart. Knees under hips, hip width apart. From here, we're just going to tuck the toes under, and we're just going to begin to gently shift our weight forward. Head comes forward. And as we exhale, we're just going to guide the hips back to the heels once again. Maybe as you inhale, you want to open up the chest. Crown of head lifts up to the sky. Tailbone lifts up to the sky. Exhale. Tailbone tucks. And then just guiding the hips back into your seated position. Over the feet. Inhale, coming up, opening the chest, crown of head, tailbone up to the sky. Exhale, tucking tailbone, spine rounds, coming back onto the feet. Almost like a cat-cow position we're doing here, but creating a little bit more fluidity within the spine. And then from here, we can lift up, if you would like, into a downward dog, hips lift up, or you can stay in that tabletop position. As we inhale, right leg will reach up to the sky. Exhale, right foot stamps top of the mat, outside of our right palm. So both of our hands are inwards to the inside of that right foot. Coming into a lunge position here. So the knees should be in alignment with the ankles. And maybe you want to create a deeper stretch by just wiggling the back foot back onto the mat a little bit. So you can guide your hips down closer to the mat. You may want to press into that right thigh with your right hand and maybe just pressing that right knee away from you once again to open up to a little twist. Maybe the bottom of the foot comes off the mat and you press into the outside of that right foot. Just opening up that liver meridian. Letting go of any stagnation. If that right hand is lifted, guiding that right hand down onto the mat, keeping the foot where it is. 3 more breaths. If you would like to move into downward dog, tucking those back left toes, lifting that left knee up, right leg comes back. Or you're in tabletop position and you just guide that right knee to come back to meet the left. Maybe you want to move through a few cat-cows. Maybe if you're in down dog, you just want to pedal out the heels. And we'll come back down into that tabletop position. And we'll just move through a few cat-cows for 2 more breaths. Moving into second side, coming back into that downward dog or staying in tabletop position. As we inhale, left leg will reach up to the sky, and exhale, left foot come to the top of the mat with left hand inside of that left leg. Checking in with the hips, maybe guiding that right side of the hip downward a little bit, maybe shimmying that back foot further away from the body to the back of the mat. You can stay here. This might be enough for you, or you can guide that left hand to the left thigh, gently pressing on it there. Maybe that left knee moves away from the body, and maybe the bottom of the left foot lifts up for more weight to come to the outside. Maybe you can rotate those collarbones open so that left shoulder is shining up towards the sky a little bit more. You might feel things stirring up here. That's completely normal. And if your hand is on your left leg, just guiding that back down onto the mat. Once again, pressing the weight into both the hands here, feeling all 10 fingertips on the mat. 2 more breaths. You're staying in tabletop, guiding that left foot down and guiding it back into tabletop. Downward dog, tucking those right toes, lifting the right knee, and guiding that left leg back. Pedaling the feet out, maybe doing a little cat-cow here. And from here, we'll just find another seated position, something that feels comfortable for you. Maybe you want to lay back down onto your back. That's totally okay as well. Just allowing that to settle in here as you find a comfortable space where you can just close the eyes down for a few more moments. I invite you just to affirm to yourself the affirmation for the wood element. I express myself and remain open to a clear and appropriate course of new possibilities. I express myself and remain open to a clear and appropriate course of new possibilities. So as we tune into the wood element and the liver meridian, the liver really does tend to balance between the metaphor of art and science, the fluidity that's found within that, the logistic and the imaginable. So if you begin to feel those feelings of anger or frustration, or just those doubts of clarity, just invite you to stay imaginable while also being a healthy amount of logical as well. So as we close here, if you are laying down, I do just invite you to come up to a seated position. And we're just going to do one more gentle twist into our chest because we did a lot of leg stuff going on there. So we're going to inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, right hand, left thigh, left hand behind back. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, gently guiding the upper torso over to the left. Maybe you look back through the left shoulder. And just one more breath to think about where you can let go a little bit more. And then we'll inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, left hand, right thigh, right hand comes behind. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, opening over to that right side. Maybe looking over the right shoulder. Where can you surrender for just a few more breaths this evening? And inhale, arms will reach up. And exhale, hands come together in towards our heart space here, tucking that chin just a little bit, bowing to ourselves and offering ourselves gratitude for showing up for our practice today. Also showing gratitude for the change of season, maybe taking this moment to just find one piece of gratitude that maybe the forest has taught you, or maybe a moment of gratitude for what you are manifesting for the spring season.